Hello world, Molweni Lizwe. My name is Siavuya Wagwagumehlo and welcome again to my YouTube channel. Now, we just focus here on psychological behavior, health, wellness, but it's just mental care. So today I'm going to talk about menstruation, right? This is this topic, everyone knows it, everyone knows about it. If you're a girl, if you're a boy, they talk about it in schools. Like, I mean, if you're of age, obviously 10 going upward, because in primary school, especially in South Africa, I don't know about other countries, but especially in South Africa, I know that we were taught from a very young age about like periods, when you're going to get your periods, and what to expect when you are getting your period. And they prepare you, the teachers, they prepare you on how to deal when you handle or when you come across, such a situation. But also, what I have encountered is that many parents, they are very shy, they are very withdrawn when they have to talk about like personal things with their children, like their daughters. They don't know how to approach the topic, which is very unfortunate and funny because they have gone through it themselves. I mean, if you're a woman, in order for you to have children, you have to have gone through, like having your periods and all of that. So I'm just gonna go through like pointers, or actually why, first, why parents should not be shy to speak about like menstruation with their daughters instead of leaving like the work up to the teachers. You know, it is good that the teachers, they give us the information, especially with life science or life orientation. And also, what I've gathered in South Africa is that they also give you like your kit, where you have your toiletries, you have your pads, uh, you have your sanitizers, you have your toothbrush, you have your toothpaste, you have your roll on, you have your moisturizer, which is nice because some of us come from disadvantaged backgrounds, and sometimes you do not have those sanitary appliances to actually take care of yourself. When you go in your periods, or maybe after you have bath, you don't know what you're going to do for moisturizing and for roll on. So I think it's a nice contribution in society for the schools to be doing that. And some schools in South Africa, they do that. So, shout out to them. But when it comes to, the parents, you want your child to actually be comfortable coming to you, talking about, you know, private things like their periods, their menstruation cycle. They need to know um, what to expect. Also, they need to know, because there's also period pains like cramps. How are they going to deal with that? My period cramps when I was very very young, they used to be very very excruciating. I used to actually be vomiting, have a runny tummy, feel hot, feel cold. I wouldn't know whether to be clothed or not. Like, I was very 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 sick. And so that's also an issue. And if your child is uncomfortable to come to you because you have not made it a safe space for them to come talk to you about, their cycle. You can tell them how long they can expect it to run for. At the beginning, for myself, it was 7 days, but it can change, from girl to girl, because we have different bodies and we get it at different times. Others, they get it at 10, others at 15, others at 18. It just depends. And I think because in our lifetime right now, the foods that we're eating, we're not eating like healthy food. Some of the food is very processed. It can quicken your cycle. You can get your cycle at a very young age. So it's very important for parents to come talk about those issues, so that, when it comes to dating, they're comfortable talking to you about boys. They are comfortable talking to you about hygiene. They are comfortable to talk to you about sex, because these are the things that are going to affect their lives. These are the things that are going to influence how they move in the world. you know and when we are young, we don't necessarily know how to deal with them, like the hygiene that comes with it. First, you can make it very very simple. Like, you are a woman now, you are able to get pregnant, because when you get your periods, now there's a door opening so that you can get children. But just because your body is ready to produce children doesn't mean that you are strong enough or mentally fit to actually have children, because actually having children is a life death uh, line. It's very dangerous. So at 11 years old, getting your period, at 10 years old, getting your period, these are the things that you need to look out for. Don't sleep with boys at that age. You are 10, you are not able to be responsible for yourself. I know it's quite you will think that it's stretched, like, okay, no, no, you just fetching Sia, but there are children that have actually gotten pregnant at 11 years old, at 12 years old, and I've heard actually that the age to do abortion is 12 years old, so which means children can get pregnant at 12 years old. So if it's difficult for a 20 something year old, a 30 something year old, a 40 year something old to give birth, how much more for someone who has a body that is not actually yet developed? You know what I mean? So I feel like it's something that we should be talking about. Like, don't sleep with boys at that age. You are very young. You are still in school. 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, you are still in primary school. And thank God that not many kids in primary school that they are having sex. You know what I mean? They still outside. They are still playing with other kids. Also, we need to take that into consideration because, you have to wear your pad, and what types of game that you are playing. Sometimes you can be restricted on what types of game that you have to play depending on what you are wearing. You know what I mean? And the qualities of pairs that are there, they are very, very different. There are one with wings, there are one without wings. So sometimes it can slide off. Anything can happen. And I feel like stepping into womanhood is something, there should actually be a school that the mothers, they mentor the young girls, because in the Xhosa culture, I know when men or when boys are entering into manhood, there's iskolo, they call it but they call it ukoluka. So they go to that initiation school. So it's catered for boys, but for girls, mothers, they need to step up. They need to step up and actually create a safe environment for young girls to talk about their period. So first, they need to understand how to wear the pads or wear tampons. If you are swimming, you know, I remember when I was going to swim and I was on my period and I didn't understand, like, okay, so now what must I do? And I was told, okay, you need to, get a tampon. So they need to understand how tampon works, how to dispose of tampons, and how to actually put on a tampon. These are the things that you need to introduce them to, especially if they are into water sports. You understand? And also, if they are playing outside, they should be actually wearing tights, so that the pad is hold firmly, so that there's no embarrassment. Because sometimes we play with boys and we play with girls, and you don't want some accident happening. So menstruation is an inevitable factor that we have to face, and actually parents have to face, because I know teachers, they are doing their job, but when it comes to a parent, you're the one that gave birth to that child. You have actually lived with that child for 10 years, 11 years. You should have prepared yourself and how you're going to bring up this topic. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like the reason why parents are very, very, very scared is because they're thinking, oh my God, okay, now she's gonna be sleeping with boys, she's gonna be pregnant. I don't feel like I'm sending her to do such things, but that's not what you're doing. You're actually preventing them from getting into dangerous situations. So now that's done, like how to dispose of your pets. Now there are many, 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 many conspiracy theories out there. I know one day I was talking with my colleague and she was like, there's a lot of witchcraft around the world, but like in the African context where people will actually take people's blood and use it for like ceremonial stuff and witchcraft stuff and all that taboo things. But what I can say that is safe that you can do when you have bathed, right? When you are done bathing, what you can do is the dirty water that is there, that when you are finished bathing, you can actually wash your pad, like wash the blood out of your pad, so that when you dispose of that water, the blood goes with them, because you dispose it in the toilet. And even if you do dispose the water in the ground actually swallows or takes in the water. And then you can actually take the clean pad and wrap it on paper and then dispose it in the trash bin, or you can burn it. But I feel like where you can actually burn the pad, like I used to like burn it, like if you are in the villages and they don't necessarily like cook using the electrical stoves. Sometimes they cook outside. They make those like bonfires, or so those fires are a bit stronger. You can actually burn it. Yeah, burn it properly, because it takes a while to burn, because it's not easy to burn blood because that's liquid. You know what I mean? So you can do that if you are in the village. I used to do that because sometimes when you throw pads, especially at school, you throw them in the dustbin or you leave them like near the toilet. I've seen girls do this in high school, and I've seen girls do this in primary school. You need to dispose your pads correctly. Stop leaving your blood. That's blood. It's like someone leaving a baby's nappy, which happens in these days, which is just like very, very, very unsanitary. Like, it's very, very unhealthy. It's icky, it's disturbing, it's actually very, very disgusting. You don't leave your pad next to the toilet in a public, I'm talking about public toilets, even at your home. You roll the pad up, you put it in, roll it and then put it in a paper. You wash it when you get home, or you take out that the part where there's a blood stain in it, and you can flush that, and then take the rest of the pad, and you can like roll a paper over it and then dispose of it. Yeah. Or, and it's your own blood at the end of the day, because other people, like, there are people that are afraid of blood. There are people that are disgusted by blood, so, but that is your own blood. You need to think of other people when they come. It's not nice sitting in the toilet where there's blood around the seat. I mean, anything could have happened there. You don't know what blood of what animal, someone got slaughtered. You don't know what's going on. So wipe that seat, make sure that it's clean, check your underwear. And sometimes in the pad it's written like 8 hours, but you can even check like with your flow, because some girls have a heavy flow and some girls have not so heavy flow, uh, a lighter flow. So if you are on the lighter side, you can actually wait for 6 to 8 hours before you change your pad. But if you know that you're someone with a heavy flow, you need to change your pad and check yourself regularly at the bathroom, because sometimes you will think that you are safe, but actually you have overflowed. The blood has overflowed. Your panties are stained. Your uniform is stained. You need to constantly check, and maybe ask your girlfriends. Am I clean? I used to do that in high school. Am I clean? Am I okay? You know what I mean? And it is wise to not only wear the pad that you wore at home. You need to also have your pad, an extra pad with you on your bag, so that you can be able to change a pad when you are at school, so that you are always clean and you are always fresh, and then you can change it later when you are bathing, later when you are at home bathing. It's also good that you don't just bath once, right? You bath in the morning, and then you wear a fresh pad, you go to school. During school hours you are unable to bathe, but you are able to change the pad that you are wearing. And then after school you bathe again at home, and then you wear a clean pad. And I think it will be around 4 or 5 p.m. depending on like what time the school closes, during the day. So let's say maybe I've counted 3 pairs that you need to wear in a day, depending on your flow. If you are heavier flow, you can wear to 4 or 5 pairs. And it's important to always like make sure that every month you have a packet of pairs, so that you are safe. Or if you don't, you can't afford, there's always someone that can hook you up, with sanitary pads. I've never been denied when I've asking for someone to lend me a pad. I've never been denied unless someone does not have a pad. Usually women are very cooperative and they're very willing to help one another. And I think girls need to adopt that mentality. Like, you need to help one another, cover each other up. Also, you need to watch what you're wearing, because I remember I was in college, and this girl, we were already adults. When you are in college, you are 18, we are over 18, 18, 19, 20 and up. And she was wearing these tights, transparent tights, black tights, and then I could see the pad, like I could see her wearing the pad. It just looked tacky. It just looked not right. And that type of thing, it attracts attention whether you like it or not. It's not a pleasant sight. Okay, so you need to check what type of clothing that you are wearing. If you know you are on your period, especially the younger ones, you need to have a mirror at home. First of all, you need to have a mirror, like that long mirror, or like half of your body type of mirror, or even a small mirror where you can like check your body, do a round spin and check like, okay, how is this showing? Because other pads are very big, others are very thin, others are very long, others are very short. So you need to check yourself. Like, it is wise, if when you're on your period, to actually have tights, long tights or short tights, where you wear under your dress, under your pants, so that even if you're overflowing, your actual clothing is not stained. That's very, very, very important. So you need to check yourself and make sure that you're wearing tights, but also you're wearing something uh, over the tight, so that you don't expose that. And some people are actually very shy. Not everyone is going to be bold to tell you, okay, your pad is showing and you look, you just look unpresentable. Especially males, they won't know really, because they don't want to offend. Even girls, because I am a woman, but like I didn't know how to approach her because she was a stranger and she was walking away from me. You just need to be mindful of the clothes that you wear. And I think parents, you need to also factor this into the conversation to the periods. Okay, so, and also when they are in their period, as much as, so it's a sad topic, but it needs to be brought up. Sometimes the young girls and young boys, they get taken advantage of sexually, whether it's someone who's close to them or a stranger, and it is important for them to come out and talk about it. And if they are on their menses or they have menstruated, it is possible that they will get pregnant. And because they stay silent, because they are ashamed, they are scared, they don't know, they are intimidated, they don't know how to come out with such information. It is very crucial that to tell them, if somebody out there has sexually taken advantage of them, it is crucial for them to go report a clinic, to go report a police station, or to report to a teacher, or report to anyone who they feel comfortable talking with, whether it's a parent or a sister, because they're going to get pregnant. And after a certain time, it's not safe for them to actually have an abortion. So that is very, very, very important, because at that age, they are able to produce children. And that's just the fact of life. Boys get taught about period pain, menstruation. They get taught in school, in the same classroom. The teachers, they teach boys, and at home, I feel like it's also important to actually clue them up on what's going on. But they're actually, very clued up, but they don't know like it personally. They know it at a general educational level, which I think is good as well, to actually, help girls out. When if your sister needs you to go buy pads for them, there's nothing embarrassing about going buying your sister pads. You need to know what type of pads they are, or going to buy your mother pads. There's nothing wrong with that. The outside the pad, it is written clearly whether it has wings or it doesn't have wings, whether it's long or it's short. You need to know like what type of pads maybe your sister needs, your girlfriend needs, or your mother needs, right? Or your wife needs. So that you know how to cater to them. When it comes to period pains, that one is it's a little bit tricky for me, because I haven't really like clocked on how to deal with period pains, but I have to say they're not as severe as they used to be. So what I can say is, what I've learned recently is that it has to do like with the diet. The diet plays a major role, because it's a hormonal imbalance. But I've heard that some people that are drinking green juice, just Google what is in the green juice and use olive oil. That actually, after they've used green juice, their periods have subsided. So if you're struggling with period pains, just try that. Or try Nurofen. I've tried Nurofen. You can get it at any pharmacy here in South Africa. I'm not sure about other countries. But Nurofen, it hasn't really worked that good for me. Like, I would still feel the pain, even though like it's not extreme. Or painkillers, and even with period pains, they're very different. Some are mild, some are severe, some they actually need to go to the hospital. So I think it's better to just talk to a medical practitioner, or just change up your diet. Just you can just investigate people's stories and see what will work for you. But all in all, parents should not be shy, should not feel intimidated, should not feel scared talking to their girls about menstruation. They should not be. I feel like you should talk about menstruation before they even menstruate, at the age of 7, at the age of 8, at the age of 9, at the age of 10. Make it simple. When you one day, because you are a woman, you will release blood, you will see it in your panties, and when that happens, I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to come talk to me. Your teachers will talk to you about it, and you will know what to use, like your pads. I'll show you which type of pads. If you have pads at home, demonstrate. These are pads. When you bleed as a woman, you release eggs. Those eggs, if you sleep with a man, he has a seed, and when they combine together, you can actually form children. That's how you were born. But each and every month, as a woman, you will bleed, and when you bleed, you probably bleed for 7 days or less or more, depending on your or specific situation. But when that happens, please come to me. I will buy you pads. If they don't give you at school for free, I will buy you pads. You can save them. This is the type of underwear that you should wear, because sometimes kids don't know what type of underwear they should wear when they are on their period, which is very, very crucial, because sometimes others have wearing just strings, others have lace panties. It is very, very, very important to wear, tight panties, so that the pad can stick, the pad can stay on for a very longer time, because if the panties is very loose, the pad is not going to sit properly. So the type of underwear that you should wear is very, very important. Sport What is this type of underwear? I would that type of underwear that sits right up below your navel. Those are good underwears, the tight ones. So make sure you have tight underwear. Clean your underwear. You should actually be responsible for your underwear, because if you leave blood on the petty for a long, long time, it might not wash out. So it is very, very important to actually wash your underwear and make sure that it's very clean. So parents, don't be scared. Just tell them, when you bleed, come to me. There are pads. Wear these type of pads. These are the type of panties you should wear, and also educate them that once they start menstruation, they are able to get pregnant when they sleep with a boy, which actually is very, very dangerous, and they need to be responsible adults when that happens. They should delay it, and then you can stop it at that, and always allow them to come talk to you when they don't know anything, and be honest and say, if I don't know how to answer you, we can always look for an answer together on the internet. Ask another woman, the sisters around, and make it a communal thing, instead of not talking to girls, about this situation. So yeah, with that being said, there's nothing to be afraid of. Please speak to your children about menstruation. Don't be afraid. And children, also, please speak to your parents about menstruation. Start the conversation. Mom, why do girls get periods? Why we never talk about it? Like, start the conversation. Maybe the parent, is afraid, and they've never watched me. But if you have watched me, start talking about it. Tell your parents why you wanna know more about being a woman, and how to be responsible and stuff like that. And I wish you guys the best. Bye.